What's up, guys? Um, as any of you know, I take a lot of pride in being very transparent. I don't pull any punches. I'm not going to give you guys bullshit. This is something that a lot of people need to hear, especially the average age demographic for my viewers, 18 to 24. So here you go. This is titled "The Truth About Sports Betting." And a lot of you need to hear this now if you're between the age of 18 to 24 or you're just getting into it. So I'll get right to it. The truth about sports betting, guys, 99% of you are going to be lifelong losers at it. What I mean by this is if you bet consistently, you're going to take a net loss for as long as you do it. You're literally like going into it. There's a 99% chance you are going to end up losing money. You're not going to win overall. A lot of you think that sounds crazy. A lot of you say, oh, well, some people do betting for a living. Yeah, that's accurate. But for those people who do it for a living, just so you know, yes, there are some. Me being one of them, I could do it for a living. I just do it for fun on the side, and I do make a net profit every single year, and I make a lot of money doing it, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I'm actually retired. I retired just after I turned 30, and I got equity shares in my company, so I'm set for good. I do some day trading on the side, actually daily, but I also do sports betting on the side, and I'll tell you why I'm successful in that, but 99% of you need to hear this because you will end up taking a loss. Now, the reason is there's two reasons. Number one, the most important reason, I'm going to cover it. You're not disciplined enough. You're not. Okay? So what that means is you're not, you keep placing miraculous, like, you think you're going to place like a small amount and then win a ton of money. You're going to, miraculous odds of winning, but you think, oh, I'm just going to creep in with a little amount, and you keep making bets like that. Guess what? They don't ever hit, guys. These like plus 1,000 bets, you might hit one in every 20 bets, but you're taking a net loss on that. You need to hit one of every 10, and it does not work like that, guys. And then sometimes you'll be like, oh, I'm just going to place money on the real easy guaranteed ones. Well, guess what? If you place a lot of money, you only win a little bit on those where they're like, you think they're a lock, they're guaranteed. Guess what? As soon as you lose one of those, you're down a lot of money because you're banking on those to all hit, right? And then another reason when it comes to discipline is a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to, if I lose my money, oh, it's okay. It's called chasing your money, chasing your bets. I'm going to lose one. Oh, it's okay. I'll just double my next bet. I'm going to hit that. That's not how it works. You'll end up taking a loss, guys. Like, you have to be very disciplined. One of the biggest things about me being successful in it is that, if you take a loss, I have a routine. I go through all my bets that I like, and then I scale through them again for the day. And then I pick the ones I feel very, very good about. And those are the only ones I place. Sometimes there's only 2 a day. Sometimes there's 3 or 4. Sometimes there's 10. But I only place the bets I feel really good about. And guess what? Sometimes, very rarely, but honestly, sometimes I take a loss in the day. Cool. Guess what? Live with it. Fight to live another day. And then, the next day, same routine. If you stick with it and you know your stuff, you're going to end up making a profit. But it's very rare that people do that. A lot of times they'll take a loss, and then they'll be like, oh, there's still a game going on tonight. I'm going to make a live bet and throw more money at that. And you keep chasing that money. You think you're going to get it back. That's not how it works in sports betting, guys. Sometimes if you do that in a casino, you play blackjack. It's not a good idea to do it, but sometimes you can win it back, especially playing roulette. Oh, I lost. You know what? I'm going to throw a couple hundred on black. Well, you have about a 46.5% chance of hitting. So sometimes you do win it back. Sports betting isn't like that, guys. Like, you take some terrible losses, and if you chase after it, guess what? It compounds. It gets worse and worse. I'm going to give you an example of someone I know. He's a friend of mine on my Facebook. I've had on there, and I used to collect designer like Jordan shoes and stuff, and I used to get a lot of pairs from him. Well, he always posts his sports betting, and he's posted like a $30,000 winner before, and he's posting his bets, and I keep looking at them, and they're all like, he'll place like $100 bet to win like miraculous amounts. And I know he makes good money. He makes a lot of money. He makes probably like, $500,000 a year. He has his own company. He has another company he does where he's got a lot of money. But I'm looking at his bets and I'm like, wait, there's no way he's winning, right? So one day he posted, and it was good of him to post. He goes, here's the ugly truth about sports betting, guys. I know I post a lot of winners, but, and then he's like, here's my actual net profit over the past 2 years. Guys, the fucking guy is down 290 grand. Like, he probably makes $1 million over 2 years. It might not be like crazy to, him, because he makes $1 million, but still, he's lost almost 30% of what he makes from sports betting. And that's where people become addicted, to the point where, like, there's a lot of people I know, guys, who knowingly, they know they're going to take a loss, but they just chase that one time where they win. They love that feeling where they win one time. And that's not good. That's not good. Like, this is money. This isn't like, oh, I'm going skydiving. It's a risk because, it's skydiving, but, I'm probably going to be good and I just want to feel that rush once. It's like, no, like you're knowingly going to be losing. You just chase that one time you win. Well, over the span of a year, you're going to lose thousands, guys. Okay. So that's reason number one. You will be a lifelong loser in sports betting 99% of the time. Reason number one, you're not disciplined enough. Guess what? Some days there's not going to be any bets you like, and 99% of you are still, you feel like you gotta throw some money at something. Guess what? That adds up and you're probably not going to win, right? So reason number two, and I just hate to be harsh, I hate to sound brutal, but guys, you don't know enough about sports and you don't do the research on the sports. Let's just take your knowledge of sports aside. Let's say you know a lot about sports. Well, let me tell you a little something, guys. The difference between a half a point and even 1 point in sports betting is everything, okay? So just so you know, like, a big part of this is downloading a lot of apps, because a lot of them have different odds and stuff like that. I shop for odds every night. I pick the bets I really feel good about, and then I look at who has the best odds for different apps. I have like 20 of them, and I have an app that tells me for each game which one has the best odds, and I pick that one, okay? Because that half a point, some websites, every night there's websites that have the odds where it's 1.5 points different. You guys don't realize how big that is, how crucial that is, especially for like NFL or college football. So I'll take those, and I do that. But let's say you don't have you have a ton of knowledge in sports like I do, and let's set that aside. Another big factor of why people lose, even who know a lot about sports, are you looking up the weather conditions for each of those games? I guarantee 95% of you don't. Guess what? I have a fucking weather app for every city. I look up the weather conditions. Do you realize how big of a difference it's going to be where you have two high-scoring NFL teams or college teams, and then, oh, guess what? It's pouring rain that game. Or guess what? They have sleet and it's hail. It's a wet condition. That means the difference of everything that a lot of people don't realize. Oh, guess what? Originally, it's projected there's going to be over 60 points scored in this game. But guess what? It's going to be rainy. It's going to be muddy, right? The ball's going to be slippery. You know what that means? You better rely on the running backs. You better look and see which team has the better running backs and adjust your wagers. Like, a lot of you don't do that. Do you realize how much of a difference that makes in pro baseball? A rainy game? I can tell you right now, when there's precipitation, this is a true stat, when there's rain, snow, or sleet, at any MLB game, scoring is down by 58%. 58%. So if you took say right now you take the Yankees and the Dodgers, two very high-scoring teams, okay? Say they're projected to score 11 runs in a game. But guess what? It's in New York, in the Bronx. They have a rainy-ass game. I promise you, you're 99% chance it's not going to hit the over for 11.5 runs. And a lot of you just literally burn your money from doing that. So when you pair the two reasons that people lose, mostly because, one, they're not disciplined enough, and then reason two, you just don't know or do enough research on sports to be able to make a net profit, well, guess what, guys? You're going to literally just be burning your money. So unless you're just doing it, there's nothing wrong with throwing, $50 or $100 oh, hey, the Super Bowl's coming up. I want to get some money in on this. Or, there's the World Series are coming up and you want to bet on the game. That's fine, guys. But, 9 out of 10 people, when they place one sports bet, that's never the only bet they place, guys. You get hooked real easy and you're going to think, oh, I'm only placing $2 or $3 bets. That's fine. No, it's not. I know a guy who makes about 80 G's a year, and he says, I only bet like 15, 20 bucks a day. He very rarely profits, but let's just say he lost every day. That's $600 a month. That adds up to $7,200 a year. Literally, like whatever he gets taken out in taxes, he basically doubles that by just throwing away money for sports betting. So what I'll tell you guys is, I don't recommend sports betting to make a profit. I really don't. I make a profit every year, and I profit a lot because I know when to quit for each day. I have a routine that works, and I am very, very disciplined, and I do the research when it comes to different apps, the weather conditions of the game, which pitchers are starting. I do every type of possible research you can do each night before I place bets the next day. It only takes like 30 minutes, but you know what? I put that time in, and that 30 minutes is going to be worth thousands. But I guarantee half of you don't do that. You don't know how to do it. If you want to know, feel free to reach out. But at the end of the day, guys, I don't recommend ever starting sports betting for 99% of you because you're just throwing away your money. And I'm telling you, for a 21-year-old kid who has no idea how to do that, how to gamble, you are setting yourself up for a lifetime of failure, guys. You will not believe how many people are homeless right now because they're addicted to gambling. That's something that no one talks about. But guess what? The odds are you're not going to become a winner in it. You're just not. So don't try the drug that first time, because it's real easy to get hooked, guys. And it gets to the point where you chase that high, that quick high of winning one of every 10 bets, knowing that you're going to be taking a loss. It's literally like a drug. You're going to do the drug chasing that high for 10 minutes, but you know damn well it's bad, and you actually probably want to quit, but you physically can't anymore. You're addicted. So I hope everyone takes something from this, guys. If you do get into sports betting and you want some advice, the biggest piece of advice I'll give you, if you want to get into any form of gambling, is do not actually wager any money. Write down what bets you would take on a piece of paper. Do it for 2 weeks. Track what the bets would be worth. See if you'd win. And use fake money. Pretend you have $10. Write it on the piece of a paper, on the top of the piece of paper. Say you have $10 to start. Write down what bets you'd make for each day. Write down what they would win. Go in the apps. See, it'll tell you what you would win if you wagered that much money. But do it for 2 weeks. Prove to yourself that you can win first before you start putting your real money in. Guess what? After 2 weeks, if you're not making a profit, that's the real world, guys. That's how it would go. So do your research, do your homework, reach out to people, maybe reach out to me. I'll give you advice, but do not start wagering real money until you're winning fake money on paper every night for 2 weeks. Okay? Peace and love, guys. I'm out.